No sign-in, no membership required. Your favorite live streams, breaking coverage, and video on demand are all right there. Free, just like always.
For the War Room Posse, we have to be a force multiplier on this. We have to stick the landing.
In the White House, in the Oval Office, you're crushing it, my friend.
And if you want more, the members section is your backstage pass. Get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and videos, insider moments from the studio and the field, and early access to new content before it goes public. Members can also unlock special experiences like virtual meet and greets, member-only auctions, and select event access. Plus, commercial-free viewing of certain shows inside the app. It's not just an app, it's a community. Download the RAV app today. Find it in the App Store and Google Play.
Ahead on American Sunrise, President Trump headed home after wrapping up his high-stakes summit in China. So what deals are on the table? We'll have the very latest, including why his trip is providing added motivation for that White House ballroom. Plus, big tech executives say there may be new opportunities for American companies in China. So what does that mean for technological power struggle between the U.S. and China? And later, ensuring border security. RAV's Ben Berkwam takes us inside ICE operations in Florida. It's video you'll only see here on RAV. Plus, Ben will join us live to explain what he saw. Those stories and so much more right now on American Sunrise.
Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
We have breaking news to share with you.
politics,
President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
we've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrance.
And I'm Dr. Gina. Good morning, everyone. I'm Allison Hans, filling in for Dr. Gina live from West Palm Beach. Let's bring in David Brody in Washington, D.C. and Terrance Bates in our Denver newsroom. Good morning, guys. What's up?
Happy Friday.
Good morning, Allison.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
It's been a week.
I'm tired, guys. Oh, it's been a week. And you know what? When I say I'm tired, then I think of President Trump going to China and quite literally staying up probably 24 hours, working, talking, thinking, and then getting on a plane to come home. And then I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm too young to be tired. You know, if he's able to do it, I have to man up and get it done, David.
No doubt. He's the Energizer Bunny. As a matter of fact, he makes the Energizer Bunny look like a loser, the way I see it.
He really is unbelievable, really. Amazing week, amazing trip. So much to talk about this morning.
Yeah, and President Trump returning to the United States, and he'll return to a new Fed chairman. Today is the last day for Fed Chairman Jerome Powell. His term ends. He's going to remain on the Board of Governors, though. There's obviously some added information on that. He's staying there basically to protect himself in case there is another case that comes up against him. That's really what it boils down to. New Fed Chairman Kevin Warsh is going to chair his first meeting tomorrow. Let's talk a bit about Jerome Powell, Allison. What is his legacy, if he has one at all?
Funny that you ask. I was thinking about this, and all I'm going to remember from his term is him looking like a total dork. Okay, that moment in time where they went to the Fed building, okay, and it was so embarrassing. He was just really demasculated by Trump, and they're with the hard hats.
There it is.
There with the hard hats.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to remember. I mean, he is going to have to explain at some point why this building cost billions of dollars. And I think that we're just going to start to hear about that. And maybe that's why he's hanging around. He's trying to monitor what everybody's going to get into.
Yeah, for sure. A couple of things. That investigation, Allison, that you're talking about, the DOJ originally was going to criminally try to prosecute him on it. They did drop that. It's now under some sort of government investigation, just overall, just kind of like a watchdog group. So we'll see how that actually plays out. But you mentioned the hard hat. I'm thinking that President Trump was frustrated with Jerome Powell because he was hard-headed. Jerome Powell, right? I mean, because Jerome Powell wanted to the independence of the Federal Reserve, which, by the way, the Federal Reserve should be independent. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, President Trump was like, wait a minute, listen, we need you to cut interest rates pronto. And Trump was frustrated that Powell wasn't going to do as he says. And that, to me, when you mentioned the legacy question, I think that going forward is going to be something to watch. How much autonomy will the Fed have going forward, whether it be under Trump or future presidents? I think that remains to be seen. That's why I don't know if we can really give you an answer on the legacy part of it right now until we see this play out 2, 4, 6 years down the road.
Yeah.
See, and I think for me, the legacy already has been imprinted in that he's probably the first Fed chairman in modern history that had such a contentious relationship with the sitting president.
Sure.
I can't remember any other Fed chairman having such an adversarial relationship with the sitting president. And for me, that is the legacy. Can you remember? And again, maybe, no. I'm going to go on and throw a jab. You know, I'm a little bit younger than you guys. No, but seriously, can you guys think of any Fed chairman who's had that sort of contentious relationship with the sitting president? I can't.
Well, I don't think it's so much about the person, actually. I think we're going into a new sort of financial system. Now, now we're taking like a 40,000 look view here. But I think things are going to change in terms of what the Fed represents, what the Fed does in this country, and what it means to the American people. And so I think it's going to be absolutely fascinating what Warsh is going to do, and I think it's going to have a really deep effect on our lives in the next couple of years, next couple of months, maybe with interest rates, but I think in much deeper issues going forward.
I know we need to get to the Bible verse, but dare I go old school just for a quick second? And let me just bring up 2 names, Alan Greenspan and Paul Volcker. That's it. I'm old. Okay, time for the Bible verse.
Thank you, sir. Let's check out today's Bible verse. It's James 4:7. Therefore, submit to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Well, one major development out of the China summit this morning. President Trump says China has agreed to not provide military equipment to Iran. Let's take a look.
The issue, and you've been asked about it, and you've spoken about it, and that is China's support of Iran. How big a discussion was that today?
We discussed it. I mean, when you say support, they're not fighting a war with us or anything.
No.
He said he's not going to give military equipment. That's a big statement. He said that today. That's a big statement. He said that strongly. But at the same time, he said, they buy a lot of their oil there, and they'd like to keep doing that. He'd like to see Hormuz Strait opened. I said, well, we didn't stop it. They did it, and then we stopped them. Sort of interesting. He joked. He said, it's sort of if they stopped it, then you stopped them. But they'd like to see it opened. But they actually closed it. He didn't like the fact that they're charging tolls. I don't know if they are or not. I don't know who would pay them. I mean, where do they put the money? The country's decimated. They're charging tolls. Where's the money going?
And let's now bring in Missouri Congressman Mark Alford. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, Congressman, if China actually agreed to withhold military support from Iran, does this signal real diplomatic progress, or is this really about optics?
No, I think it is some real a big diplomatic win that President Trump achieved with Xi Jinping, because the relationship with China and Iran needs to be broken. China needs the oil from the Mideast. They're not getting the oil from Venezuela, those illegal shipments that we had sanctioned. And so they need the energy. China, it's very clear, has been supporting Iran in the past. And I think those support mechanisms, those relationships that Iran has had with other countries, I think other countries are starting to see that it's not a good deal. That the U.S. government, this president, is intent on breaking Iran, is intent on recapturing or capturing the nuclear material and keeping Iran from becoming a nuclear terrorist state. So I think it's a big win for President Trump. It's a big win for America. Let's hope it holds. Let's hope this conflict gets over with very fast so that fuel prices can come down for Americans and that the Mideast can have some security.
Congressman, China-related item this morning. Lawmakers like yourself and others are seeking a crackdown on China-owned U.S. farmland as Trump meets with Xi Jinping. There's the headline. This is a part of the Farm Bill. It aims to secure national security, food security, that type of thing. More than 40 million acres of agricultural land owned by foreign entities. I know certain states have, I think it's 28 states or so, have put some restrictions on this. So what's going on in Missouri on that? And what about the federal aspect of this?
Yeah, we have restrictions in Missouri and have for several years. Look, China has its tentacles in everything we do in America, whether it's drone capability, DJI microphones, cameras everywhere, Huawei, and farmland is one of those issues that strikes home for me. We have 87,000 farms in the state of Missouri alone. We're losing 1,000 farms a month in America. And our food security is national security. Foreign ownership of farmland, I don't think should be tolerated at all. In fact, my bill goes even further. I have have filed. It's called the American Land and Property Protection Act. And in fact, if you are a member of an adversarial nation, Russia, China, North Korea, there's about 7 or 8 of those, you can't own any property in America in my bill. This one is a little less restrictive. It's just talking about farmland. China owns about 1/5 of the market when it comes to meat. They have Smithfield Foods is owned by the Chinese. So, when you start letting enemies or adversarial nations into ownership of our farmland, you are just asking for trouble down the road.
No, absolutely. We're digging through the headlines this morning. Want to bring your attention to this Reuters headline, which reads, U.S. House members defy leadership to force vote on Ukraine aid. There was a discharge petition that reached 218 signature threshold in order to push this through. A vote we're hearing is likely to happen in early June. What more can you tell us about this, and where do you stand on this?
Look, I don't sign on to discharge petitions. I understand why Don Bacon did this and Kevin Kiley, who's now an independent but still comes to our Republican conference meetings. Kevin's trying to win re-election in California, where they've redistricted there and trying to run him out. Don Bacon is, I respect the guy. He's a general, but he is retiring from Congress, and he's always thought that we should support Ukraine no matter what, basically. We have given Ukraine over $188 billion so far. And this war has gone on for 5 years. I'm for the Trump plan in all this anyway, and that is to sell armaments. Don't give Ukraine any more money, but sell armaments to NATO countries or to European countries and let them give it to Ukraine if they so choose to do so. That would be a win for us. It would be a win for Ukraine. But I think the American people, in particular, my constituents back in Missouri, they're tired of sending our money to Ukraine, especially when we're $39 trillion in debt. I understand where they're coming from. This also talks about, in this discharge petition, declaring our total support for NATO. NATO's got some issues. I think it's time to reimagine NATO. And I think President Trump's feeling pretty much the same way. NATO did not support us when we needed them in taking out Iran's capabilities to have a nuclear weapon. And I think it was despicable. And we need to put some pressure on them to either get on board with us or let's reorganize NATO, maybe even call it something different. We have a lot of allies now and relationships around the world that believe as we do, and maybe NATO is a little bit outdated.
Yes, I think NATO's coming into focus. Congressman Mark Alford, thank you so much for being with us this morning. We appreciate you.
Thank you,
sir. Have a great weekend, Congressman.
You too. Take care.
Coming up, we check out the hottest headlines from the RAV newsroom with T. Bates. And later, Alligator Alcatraz on the chopping block. The controversial facility could shut down soon. So what's behind the possible closure? We have all the details straight ahead on American Sunrise.
Yes.
Hey, Tracy, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, everybody.
How are ya?
Hello, everybody on YouTube.
That would include everybody.
Okay.
What's that?
I'm laughing, David, because first of all, okay. I love the thumbnail.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you're talking about the thumbnail on YouTube? I look like a stalker. I literally do. Have you seen this thumbnail?
The schedule. Looked at it. Who do we have?
Good morning, everybody on YouTube.
I look like a creeper. Like I'm stalking Allison from behind her.
Does David look like a creeper? That's the question, YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. What a question on a Friday morning.
Good morning, Ross Temple. And hi, Kelly loves Ozarks. How are you?
Kelly loves Ozarks.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Okay, Merrill Lee Hornick says zero aid for Ukraine. I thought that would probably be across the board with
Jamie.
Yeah, I'm definitely with that.
Good morning.
Sure.
I see you. I see you, Jamie. Why am I talking like this? I see you.
Okay, Kelly loves Ozarks says, David, I don't think so.
Wait, Kelly, you don't think what? You don't love the Ozarks?
No, that you look like a creeper.
Oh. Okay. Oh, sorry, I thought you didn't like the Ozarks.
This news break is brought to you by AMAC, Association of Mature American Citizens.
Duck Creek Village, Utah. Come on. That's impressive. Or if Joe Biden was talking right now, he'd say, is that a mountain? Seriously, I'm not being facetious. Welcome back, everybody, to American Sunrise. I'm David Brody. Coming up, you know what? Forget coming up. How about right now, this moment? T. Bates on a Friday with the Real America's Voice headlines in the Real America's Voice newsroom. Are you kidding me? It's all sponsored by AMAC.
The Association of Mature American Citizens is the conservative voice for Americans 50 and older. AMAC is fighting for the values that you hold dear. Join today. Together, we can write the course of America.
I'm sorry, the AMAC member in me was taking a little bit of a nap. I'm that old these days. President Trump headed home after what he and Chinese President Xi Jinping described as a meeting that stabilized U.S.-China relations. The U.S. Commander-in-Chief's 3-day trip to China ended while you were sleeping, with the delegations having discussed everything from the Iran war to trade to technology and Taiwan. From China's perspective, Taiwan remains the most important issue, with Xi warning President Trump that American policies related to the island nation could create conflict or clashes between the U.S. and China. Before leaving, 47 giving a wrap-up of this latest U.S.-China summit.
And we've settled a lot of different problems that other people wouldn't have been able to settle. And the relationship is a very strong one. We've really done some wonderful things, I believe. We did discuss Iran. We feel very similar to Iran. We want that to end. We don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. We want the straits open.
The commander-in-chief is returning home to a new Fed chairman. Kevin Warsh is President Trump's pick to be the chairman of the Federal Reserve. Warsh takes over from Trump nemesis Jerome Powell, whose term ends today. Trump and Powell have been at odds over Powell's reluctance to lower interest rates. 47 has famously nicknamed the outgoing Fed chairman Too Late Powell over his fiscal policy. After 8 years at the helm of the central bank, Powell is stepping away from the top job with inflation above the Fed's 2% target for more than 5 years now. Plus, the central bank's key short-term interest rate rose to a 2-decade high during his administration. While the now former chair is stepping down, he's not stepping away from the Fed altogether. Powell says he'll continue serving on the bank's board of governors until he is confident the Fed's independence from the White House is upheld. President Trump may be leaving China with a bit of ballroom envy. Taking to Truth Social just hours ago, 47 writing, China has a ballroom and so should the USA. It's under construction ahead of schedule and will be the finest facility of its kind anywhere in the USA. Mr. Trump says his ballroom is scheduled to open around September of 2028. Work on the $400 million addition to the White House is moving forward after a federal appeals court overruled a lower court ruling which halted the above-ground construction on that facility. The 90,000 square foot building replaces what used to be the East Wing of the White House and includes a massive military complex underneath the ballroom itself. That's a quick check of your headlines. Now let's get a quick check of your forecast. Weather Nation meteorologist Tracy Anthony standing by with more on what you can expect there. Tracy, good morning. What am I looking at here? I'm trying to figure it out.
You know, just a couple weeks ago, I showed you a dust storm or dust storm advisories in Illinois. This is North Dakota. So now we're seeing them all over out of the Southwest. It has to do with the widespread wind advisories and the fire danger that I've been talking about all week. So we've been kind of stuck in the same pattern. And it's really not just North Dakota. We had videos with low visibility and dust getting kicked up all the way down to the Texas Panhandle. And now this is where it's a little more common to see some of that dust getting kicked up in the strong gusty winds. But a handful of fires across the Texas Panhandle have exploded in the last 24 hours because of the heat, the blustery conditions, and you can see here lots of smoke going to be a big concern. But we also have some thunderstorms that are firing off. But with dry air at the surface, the rain isn't making it to the ground, but the lightning is. So that's what's sparking some of these brush fires. So dry thunderstorms still possible for the Texas Panhandle throughout the day today, along with gusty winds. And that's kind of the south side of our severe weather threat. But we do have an enhanced risk for strong to severe thunderstorms across parts of Iowa. So that's with that heat, with temperatures in the 90s. And Terrance, it's also day one of Eastern Pacific hurricane season. So a lot of active weather to talk about and a lot of things to kind of look forward to, or not look forward to, but, you know, pay attention to into the next couple of months.
From haboobs to hurricane season, yeah. You've got it all covered. Aren't you impressed that I know what a haboob is?
I am very impressed, yes.
I can't lie. I just looked up the scientific term. I was like, there's got to be a scientific term for dust storm. I just looked it up. All right, we'll check in with you next hour and get our hometown forecast. Good to see you, Tracy.
Yeah, you as well. And we will have a hurricane prep week, June 1st on Weather Nation. Ooh. So you're going to want to download the Weather Nation app so you get all those details.
Okay, good information there. Thanks so much. Up next, President Trump invites President Xi Jinping to the White House this September. Deal-making, diplomacy, or high-stakes showdown with China? We'll break down what that invitation is all about.
Good morning, Jan.
Hey.
Are we pronouncing your name properly?
Jan Jekielek. Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Thank you.
Wow, we got it. Hey, Jan.
How you guys doing? By the way, I love your vibe here. I really do. It's a good morning vibe.
Oh, that's the highest compliment, by the way.
Thank you.
What is your Zelle information?
And we just want
give me your name one last
so that
time.
we can send you a request for money.
Yeah, Jan, and then it's Yekelik.
Jan Yekelik. Got it.
Oh man, that's top 1 percentile of pronunciation there.
Yeah.
Jan Yekelik. Not that hard, honestly. I'm like analyzing your name. I don't know why I'm doing that.
Yeah, my parents escaped communist Poland in the 70s. That's how I got it.
Oh, well, that's a story.
Jan, do you know, my last name is very difficult to spell as well, and there was a viewer one day who saw my last name. He is a historian, and we're, like, related. Like, he has done all this research and has been sending it to me for a year.
All right, you're not going to hear this today. This is Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey. Did you know that during the Prohibition era, that town served as a notorious hub for illegal rum running, booze smuggling? So there you go. Welcome to Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey. Welcome back, everybody, to American Sunrise. All right, before leaving China, President Trump talked about how China wants to buy some of our oil. Take a look.
They get a lot of their oil, 40% of their oil from that location. So what has happened, and one thing I think that we're going to make a deal on, they've agreed they want to buy oil from the United States. They're going to go to Texas. We're going to start sending Chinese ships to Texas and to Louisiana and to Alaska. And I think that was another thing that was agreed to. That's a big thing.
What about liquefied natural gas?
It's not that much longer.
Gas, too?
Yeah, everything. Energy.
Energy.
That's the one thing they really need, energy. That's the one thing. They have an insatiable appetite for energy, and we have unlimited energy.
All right, let's bring in Epoch Times senior editor Jan Yekelik. Jan, thanks for being here. How would all of this change the dynamic in the Middle East and globally? I mean, if China starts to buy oil from the United States, that seems like a pretty significant game changer.
I think it's incredibly significant. And this is the kind of thing that the U.S. very much wants to do, be very valuable for the U.S. for a whole bunch of reasons, right? On the one side, basically 90% of Iran's oil China has been buying, right? And this is through actually at fire sale prices because it was, countering sanctions and everything. Basically, that's why they got such a good deal on it. But from the U.S. perspective, right, to be put into a situation where they can exert, where America can exert more leverage on China, that's a very good thing. And China needs energy, and China wants to build these let's call it interrelationships with America, right? The problem is that they've built a whole bunch of leverage around us, like the critical minerals, rare earths, medical ingredients, supply chain. There's a bunch of these things which they can really use as a weapon. And my sense is that the president is looking to extract America from those types of leverage. On the other hand, building other forms of leverage. And of course, supplying energy is a very powerful form of leverage, which is something that actually, as he pointed out in that interview, China desperately needs all the time.
Do you think that China is really being upfront when it says that it's ready to open and ready to kind of build these relationships that you described with the United States? I want to bring your attention to this headline from CNBC, which says Xi tells Musk, Tim Cook, and other CEOs on Trump's trip that China will open wider. This comes as NVIDIA now has permission to sell its H200 chip there in China. Obviously, we know that traditionally China has been reticent to open itself to business with the United States, particularly allowing American companies to operate independently, if you will, in China. Do you think that China is really being honest here, or are they simply telling the Americans what we want to hear?
Well, first of all, they'll never allow any American company to operate independently. And secondly, and I actually think that chip exports are a mistake, personally. I think they need them basically for building their massive AI digesting of massive amounts of information infrastructure. So they're very eager. And of course, they're being careful. They're being kind of coy around these chips. They're not sure whether they'll accept them. I think what they really want to know is that there isn't a lot of, let's say, American intelligence hardware embedded in those things and so forth. But they actually very much do need them because they're a cut above what they have themselves. So I like the idea of American companies being able to have more flexibility to sell to China. But I like the idea of them being like these raw things like soybeans, like oil, like basically these resources that China desperately needs that actually allows us, gives us more leverage as opposed to allowing them to get the technology transfer, which they've been doing, for decades. It's basically been this parasitic relationship on America.
Yeah, we don't want anything funky in those chips that we're using or anything along those lines. Jan, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you getting up with us.
Thanks.
Such a pleasure. And I said I love your guys' mojo, so thanks a lot for having me on.
Our pleasure. Have a good one. Coming up, a possible step forward in the fight against Parkinson's. Researchers are testing a new non-invasive brain stimulation technique that may help reduce tremors and improve movement without surgery. The early results. That's coming up next on American Sunrise.
This world changes with every headline, every trend, every opinion, but truth doesn't move. The Truth Bombers dropped a new anthem for everyone still standing firm. Faith over fear, conviction over compromise. Bible and a backbone. A bold new release through Real America's Music. Download it now. Scan the QR code or search Bible and a Backbone by the Truth Bombers on iTunes. Stand tall, hold strong. Bible and a Backbone out now.
I don't bend for every breeze. I don't drop down to my knees for opinions that don't stand. Don't.
All right, I'll do that then. I'll do whatever you want. I'm just an anchor. Just pull the strings. Do whatever you need me to do.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Hey, Ben, it's David.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. I don't see a picture of you yet, so I'm just wondering, where are you this morning? Where are you? Oh, there you are. Okay. Where are you looking?
I'm actually in Jackson, Mississippi, but just passing through.
Oh, okay. I'll just say somewhere in Mississippi.
Yeah, we're actually heading back to Florida. I flew home from Florida to pick up my family to drive back to Florida.
Okay, we are looking at a live shot of the Capitol. Beautiful clouds there. Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome back to American Sunrise. Thank you all so much for joining us this morning. Time now for today's health news, sponsored by the Wellness Company. Under the microscope today, a breakthrough in Parkinson's treatment could offer new hope to millions of patients without the need for brain surgery. Now, researchers are testing a new non-invasive brain stimulation technique that uses magnetic or electrical pulses to target specific brain networks linked to Parkinson's symptoms. Early studies show the approach may improve movement, reduce stiffness, and help control tremors, all without implanting electrodes in the brain. Scientists say the technology could eventually provide an alternative to deep brain stimulation surgery, which currently requires pretty invasive procedures. One recent study found targeted non-invasive stimulation produced a 56% response rate in patients. That is more than double the results seen with conventional targeting methods. Well, are we on the verge of another plandemic? Hope not. Is the hype real? Should we be worried? Or is this just another effort to terrorize Americans before an election? Who can we trust? Well, that's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from TWC doctors all the time on this network, and you know that their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy. The Wellness Company gives you the opportunity to make sure you are prepared for whatever happens with their series of prescription medical kits. Kits that contain an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks to assist in the proper use of these medications. Additionally, the Wellness Company offers a variety of products, from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and so much more. All that can help you stay healthy and live longer and a more satisfying life. Be prepared, not scared. Go to twc.health/RAV today and order. That's twc.health/RAV. Use the promo code RAV to save 10%. Now let's send it over to David.
Allison, thanks so much. Good to see you this morning, by the way.
Good to see you, too.
I don't think I said that this morning, but it is good to see you. All right. As sanctuary cities obstruct ICE and protect illegal aliens, Florida continues to show, hey, America, this is how it's done. RAV correspondent and the host of Law and Border, Ben Berquam, joined ICE for a special operation led by Florida state troopers and other law enforcement agencies across the state to aid in the apprehension of criminal illegal aliens. Here is some of that. It is spectacular. Have a look.
6 a.m. We're here in Broward County, going out on a joint op with Florida Highway Patrol. Gonna catch some bad guys. Let's roll. Incredible to me is the amount of people that will hire these guys to come into their house not knowing what their criminal history is, just because you want a little bit of cheap labor. And they continue to lie that they do jobs Americans won't do. It's not true. They just won't do them for slave wages like the rich liberals in America want to pay illegals. These operations should be happening all across America. Unfortunately, we have sanctuary jurisdictions that don't care about our Constitution or the citizens of this country.
10 more apprehensions later, we're at 14 for the day.
We got our back up in the air. God bless. These guys have been here for between 5 and 10 years because Border Patrol and ICE are so backed up because the open borders left. A lot of times these guys don't get caught for a while. Now they got caught, all 3 in one day. Picking up one guy over here who's illegal. Crash over here also happens to be illegal from Guatemala. Crazy. Just the sheer numbers of illegals that we have in our country, most Americans can't even comprehend. Day 2 of 287G program. This is just in a few hours here. Bringing them in here, processing them, sending them out. The question is how far they ran before they decided to hide. So We got one of the suspects that went into one of the houses over here. The homeowner saw him in the backyard, and the only reason they're getting picked up now is because of the operation that ICE jointly with state troopers are doing. God bless ICE.
Tonight on CNN, not that. Instead, Ben Bergquam joins us now, Rav correspondent, the host of Law and Border. Ben, just spectacular work. The whole video is amazing. I must admit, I love the last part, you smiling right into the camera going, God bless ICE. Love it. Tell us more, Ben. Good morning.
I had to switch hats just for this. Yeah, God bless them. The hate these guys receive for doing the job to protect the homeland, our nation, from criminal illegal alien invaders, and the traitors in our own government. That's the worst part. You know, the illegals are one thing, but it's actually the people that are fighting them, the politicians and law enforcement agents in other states and sanctuary jurisdictions, unfortunately, that can't do their job because of these politicians. It's just absolutely outrageous. We got to see firsthand how it should be done, as you mentioned, David. Florida is the example. The 287G program, we were out there for 3 days with these guys. 250 illegals apprehended in that operation in 3 days. Imagine, David, imagine if instead of politicians attacking ICE and working against them to stop them from doing their mission, imagine if the entire country operated like Florida did and actually worked with ICE. We would remove the criminals from your neighborhoods. We would remove people that have no right to be in our country, and we would give this country back to the citizens. That's all ICE is doing. In fact, all ICE is doing is the job that Congress voted for them to do. The most outrageous part about all of this, David, is that the same Democrats that are out there calling on ICE to be defunded are the ones that actually passed the laws that ICE is following. So if they actually want to change something, change the laws. But I want them to change the laws to make it stricter, not easier for illegals to stay in this country. Unfortunately, until we get rid of the filibuster, until we get rid of a few of the rhinos that are left, I don't see that happening. But that's the call that every single American needs to make.
You are absolutely right. And by the way, all of this happening in Florida, and look, no national headlines, no big national headlines about all of the controversy. Right. Why? Because it's not a sanctuary city or a sanctuary state, and they can go about their business, and this is law and border, as you would say. So, Ben, let me ask you, before we let you go, Florida is preparing to shut down, actually, the controversial Alligator Alcatraz. What's going on there? Because that's that immigration detention center, as you know, in the Everglades. They're expecting to wind it down by June. There's the headline. The facility's been at the center, I guess, of some legal and political, I know it's been at the center of legal and political fights over costs and conditions, environmental impacts. Here we go again. It's faced scrutiny since its opening. What are you hearing and your reaction?
Yeah, look, all of this comes back. It's what I said earlier. If we had politicians and agencies and organizations that spent more time caring about the American citizens, places like this, these headlines wouldn't be headlines. Unfortunately, we have too many people, too many organizations. You got the ACLU, all of these idiots involved that care more about illegal aliens than they do about American citizens. But I know one thing, President Trump is not stopping the mission. I know Secretary Mullins is not stopping the mission. I know for sure, Tom Homan is not stopping the mission, and none of these ICE agents are either. So they're going to continue to do their operations. They're going to continue to do them whether they're in a sanctuary state that protects criminal illegal aliens or they're in a red state that actually puts America first. But one thing we also need to do, we have to defund these sanctuary jurisdictions. Anyone that gets in the way of ICE doing their mission should be immediately defunded. You start doing that, these guys will whip into shape really fast.
Ben Bergquam, we love you here. Our audience absolutely adores you, and you are one of a kind. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
Thank you, David. My honor.
Great stuff. All right, more American Sunrise coming your way in 2 minutes. Stay with us. If you say so, if we're off, we're off. Then again, on the segments that we're on, sometimes we're off, if you think about it.
Yes. Good morning, Emily. Morning. How are you, sweetheart?
How are you?
I'm much better on the hairspray today. I opened the door in the green room, and I would walk outside into the hallway, hold my breath, and spray.
I know, it definitely does something to your brain.
I was not feeling well at all yesterday.
Good morning, Celeste. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Great. Living the dream. Living the dream.
Awesome.
Oh, my mic is... Sorry about that. Oh, my God. You instructed Ryan to beat me with a back scratcher. Can I see a shot really quick? Thank you. Oh my goodness, guys, you gotta tell me when my hair looks so crazy.
I got it.
Okay, much better. Welcome back. Coffee pods are easy, but most of them are just caffeine and nothing else. Rejuvenate pods are built differently. They're clean pods infused with CAAKG, a compound linked to longevity, metabolism, and deep cellular energy. It's the easiest way to get better focus, smoother energy, and long-term benefits without changing your routine. I choose them because they match the lifestyle I want. More energy, more clarity, and more intention in how I start my day. If you're going to drink coffee anyway, make it one that actually supports the life you're building. Head to 1775coffee.com/Rav and try Rejuvenate Pods today. Don't just drink coffee, rejuvenate. All right, now that we are caffeinated, it's time to stay awake, not woke. And today we are discussing a special announcement. Real America's Voice is getting ready for a major Memorial Day weekend event, a live celebration of faith, freedom, family, and country. The network is hosting Celebrate Freedom at Marty B's in Texas, a free live broadcast and concert experience featuring worship, music, audience interaction, and performances from Real America's music artists, including Natasha Owens, Deepak, and Celeste Kellogg. Here's a short preview.
This Memorial Day weekend is more than an event. It's a celebration of the United States of America and the people who love her. Join Real America's Voice and Real America's Music for Celebrate Freedom, a one-of-a-kind live broadcast and concert experience at the iconic Marty B's in Dallas, Texas. From 4 to 9 p.m., patriots from across the country will come together for an unforgettable night, honoring faith, freedom, and the spirit that makes this nation strong. The entire event is live, kicking off with a powerful hour of worship, followed by a national broadcast hosted by Bo Davidson, featuring voices you trust like Ben Burke, and building into a full concert experience with performances from Wynn Williams and Ram artist Deepak, Natasha Owens, Celeste Kellogg, and more. This is an American Love Fest, and you are part of the show. Tickets are free, but you must register, and they will go fast. Scan the QR code now to lock in your spot before they're gone. Celebrate Freedom, presented by Patriot Mobile and Preborn. Let's celebrate America together.
It is going to be exciting. If you can't make the event, be sure to tune into Rav next Sunday for complete coverage. Celeste Kellogg joins us now. Celeste, thanks so much for being with us. How fun? What can we expect to see?
Oh my gosh, so much good stuff. Obviously, like we said, celebrating freedom, right? And I know Deepak well. Natasha, I haven't met her yet, but I know she's a super talented artist, and I'm excited to bring some music to the stage as well. I'm a little bit of country from my end, so I'm bringing a little bit of country pop music, and I'm just really excited to celebrate America and what makes this country what it is.
It's going to be so fun. So I'm curious. So you say you're a little bit of country. What is the inspiration for your music?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up loving pop, loving country. Shania Twain was a big influence of mine, but I also love Cher. So like just a really wide, random variety. And so that probably influenced like the sound of my music. But the morals of my music and the story behind my music has all been influenced by my faith and just how I grew up, you know, small town America and those just like down home conservative values where you help your neighbor along the way. And that's really what inspires my music and the stories behind it and my songwriting.
Well, man, I feel like a woman. I will say, Shania Twain, I was a big fan of her when I was a little girl as well. I'm more rock and roll than I am country, but wow, she is such an inspiration. And I like that you said that your faith is an inspiration too. Shania is one of those artists that really does seem that she keeps her faith at the forefront.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and I think one thing that she did, too, is really bridge that rock and roll and country and pop gap. You know, you could go to her concert and rock, too.
Yeah.
And I love that influence as well. And like I said, my faith just means so much to me and being able to celebrate and represent, you know, the gifts that God has given all of us in music and just represent that like wholeheartedly on stage. And when I perform means a lot to me.
I just think it's so amazing that Real America's Music has given you the platform and you the opportunity. You're so deserving. Tell us, how has Real America's Music really changed the music landscape? Introducing new voices like you, that's super exciting.
Well, I think the cool thing is that, at least with me, when we got on board together, they really believed in my music, and there'd been some other people that wanted to change who I was and what I sung about, and because that's something that I hold so dear to me, it meant a lot that Real America's Music just loved what I was already doing, and we're like, let's just throw some gasoline on the fire. So it's a really cool opportunity to get my music out there, and just like I said, it's bridging gaps. It's bringing some really awesome independent artist entertainment out to the forefront and people that love America. So it's really exciting for me, and I can't wait to do more and work more with Real America's Music and just start pushing it.
Absolutely. So Celeste, I know this is like an impossible question to ask an artist because inspiration always, comes in waves, right? You never know when it's going to hit you. But what is next? What do you think is going to be next in your music career?
Yeah, well, I just released an album in March, full-length album, my first full-length in years. And I have a music video coming out for my single Faith in Freedom next month. Near the 4th of July, not quite though, it's the end of June. But we have a lyric video coming out next week as well, Memorial Day weekend. So it'll be out for Texas when we're at Marty B's. And that's really my single that I'm pushing right now. It's a song I wrote about just being united. Just because we have differences in opinions doesn't mean we can't be Americans together. And that's what Faith in Freedom is all about, and representing those traditional American values.
Well, Celeste, we are certainly going to be keeping our eyes on you. Very exciting to see all the things that you are doing. Thank you so much for your time and being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And be sure to tune into live coverage of the Celebrate Freedom event next Sunday here on RAV. Coming up, Eric Church returns to his alma mater, UNC Chapel Hill, and delivers a faith-filled message to the next generation. The country star's powerful words for graduates is next on American Sunrise.
Thank you.
That was a good interview. Good job, Allison. She was great.
Absolutely.
Hi, Jerry.
Emily.
It's Allison here. How are you?
Hi, Allison. Good. Thank you.
Can't even keep my name straight.
Thank you.
I'm trying. How's the chat doing?
Chat's doing well. How do I know? I have to look. I should look. I'm sorry. Hi, chat. Is this ChatGPT? No, it's the live chat.
Live
Okay,
chat.
I'm just playing with you.
Hi, everybody in the chat.
Eric Church. Yeah, they're talking about Eric Church.
Yes.
That was really amazing.
I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh. I think that's where we say preach.
And Terrance, you will see that this is a Chapel Hill story, and I found it.
God bless. God bless the USA.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
Welcome back to American Sunrise. It's time now for our moment of faith, brought to us by Lee Greenwood and the God Bless the USA Bible. This morning, country star Eric Church striking a chord far beyond the music world, delivering a commencement address at UNC Chapel Hill filled with lessons about faith, purpose, family, and staying grounded in life. Church used the 6 strings of a guitar as a metaphor for life, bringing his guitar up to the podium, actually, and then telling graduates that each string represents something essential, including faith, family, community, and individuality, saying that when one string falls out of tune, the whole chord changes. The country star then closed the ceremony with a performance of his hit song, Carolina. Here's part of that speech. Let's take a listen.
String 1, the low E, that is your foundation. The low E is the thickest string. It is the heaviest. Every chord a guitar can make rests on this string being in tune. Your faith is the low E of your life. The thing that sits at the very bottom of you. Your belief about what this life is for, what you owe, what holds the universe together when science reaches the edge of its own explanation and shrugs. The people who tend to their faith in ordinary seasons do not come undone in extraordinary ones.
And joining us now is the executive director of the Providence Forum, Dr. Jerry Newcomb. Jerry, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Jerry, what really stood out here to me was that Church wasn't just talking about career success, which, most speakers do. He was talking about spiritual balance, purpose, and staying rooted. I just absolutely love this. And why do you think that this message is connecting with so many people right now? Because it is going viral.
I think it's connecting because a lot of young people do not have that foundation that he was talking about, that foundation of faith. In fact, I saw a statistic which said that Gen Z folks, about 50% of them lack purpose in their lives. And that was another point that Eric Church made. When you have that foundation of faith, you can have purpose. I mean, here in America, the Pilgrims started the whole process, in 1620, when they said we came for the glory of God and the advancement of the Christian faith. They had purpose. We all need purpose in our lives. And I'm glad that this gentleman was able to spread that message of faith and of having purpose and so forth to all these young people.
And it's really wonderful that someone talks about faith at a commencement ceremony like this. You don't often hear that unless you're a very, very conservative school. And this happening at Chapel Hill like that, I thought that was super cool.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think it's a fascinating point that all of the original universities in America, Harvard, Yale, Dartmouth, Princeton, they were all founded for the glory of God, the advancement of the Christian faith in one way or another. They have strayed from that purpose. So I think it was great that this gentleman was calling people back, calling really America and young people back to God.
Oh, so beautiful. Well, Jerry, thank you so much for coming in this morning and talking with us. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Have a beautiful weekend.
You too.
Well, back with the second hour of American Sunrise in just 2 minutes. Stick around.
Tracy.
Hello.
Good morning. Do we have some hometown forecasts?
Yes, I've got one, and then I've got something that might instigate something between you and David Brody.
Between you and David Brody?
Hi, everyone in the chat. Yeah. Did you like the Eric Church?
Oh, okay.
No, between you. Terrance, you and we'll see.
Oh, between David and I. Okay. I definitely can't wait. Now I'm
I'd love to know
excited.
if anybody in the chat actually watched the full video.
President Trump is on his way to the United States after a landmark 2 days. Chinese President Xi Jinping. We'll talk about.
Oh. Don't use chemical.
And we were frozen again. So I don't know why that happens, guys, but that's like happening every show now.
I know. I'm. Good morning, Neil. Neil.
Hey, Neil.
Neil, I have to say I am extraordinarily impressed with your stamina because you were on with us in the morning, and I saw you late last night. Didn't miss a step. You brought pictures. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I'm having a blast. Thank you.
Oh, that's so good. I'm so glad you're having fun. That's.
This is the life I chose, for good or for worse.
Coming up on this second hour of American Sunrise, President Trump is on his way back home after a landmark 2-day summit with Chinese President Xi Jinping. We'll talk about what the president accomplished during that 48-hour visit. Plus, lawmakers hold a tense hearing on the rise of Sharia law within the United States, and testimonies reveal that Democrat open border policies may be playing a huge part. We'll have the details. Also ahead, new reports suggest the Biden-era FBI probe into President Trump may have included orders to preserve evidence until 2030, opening the door to the possibility that the president may be targeted yet again after he leaves office. Those stories and so much more coming your way right now on the second hour of American Sunrise.
Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
we have breaking news to share with you.
Politics.
President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
We've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrance.
And I'm Dr. Gina.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second hour of American Sunrise on a Friday. This is it until Monday. I'm David Brody, coming to you from D.C. Let's bring in Allison Hans in for Dr. G. This morning, T. Bates in our Denver newsroom. Good morning to you guys. So, you know, regarding China and President Trump's in the air right now on Air Force One on his way home. You know what was striking to me, Allison, is that there were no formal announcements made, no sort of official agreements on anything. What we heard was President Trump on Sean Hannity saying China's going to buy more oil from America, and China's going to no longer give weapons to to Iran. But we don't have anything official at all. I mean, it's just Trump saying that to Sean Hannity, which the last time I checked, doesn't codify anything into an agreement.
Yeah, I think it was kind of like setting the stage. I think the only thing I heard was about 200 Boeing jets. That was about the only
that's true.
Official thing that came out. Was something that was kind of interesting to me is that there are actually some reports that before the delegation from the United States boarded Air Force One this morning to come back home, anything that was given to them by China, credentials, pens, anything, had to be tossed. So they could not get on the plane with any sort of trinkets because obviously you have to be cautious about what might be in there, I guess. I mean, I don't know if that was the direct instruction, but it was dump it.
Yeah, Mission
you just
Impossible
never know
stuff.
how much tainted stuff, or spyware may be embedded in anything. You just never know. Well, guys, speaking of all of that, President Trump, as you mentioned, David, headed home after what he and Chinese President Xi Jinping described as a visit that stabilized U.S.-China relations. The U.S. Commander-in-Chief's 3-day trip to China ended while you were sleeping, with the delegations having discussed everything from the Iran war to trade to technology to Taiwan. From China's perspective, Taiwan remains the most important issue, with Xi warning President Trump that American policies related to the island nation could create conflict or clashes between the U.S. and China. The commander-in-chief returning home to a new Fed chairman. Kevin Warsh is President Trump's pick to be chairman of the Federal Reserve. Warsh takes over from Trump nemesis Jerome Powell, whose term ends today. Trump and Powell have been at odds over Powell's reluctance to lower interest rates. 47 has famously nicknamed the outgoing Fed chairman Too Late Powell over his fiscal policy. And President Trump may be leaving China with a bit of ballroom envy. Taking to Truth Social, the commander-in-chief writing, China has a ballroom and so should the USA. It's under construction ahead of schedule and will be the finest facility of its kind anywhere in the USA. Mr. Trump says his ballroom is scheduled to open around September of 2028. That's a quick check of your headlines. Now let's get a quick check of your forecast. Weather Nation meteorologist Tracy Anthony standing by with your hometown forecast. TT, good morning.
Hey, good morning. We are going to start off in Ashland, Nebraska. This is an area where we're talking record heat. Temperatures in the 90s. Look at today, 96 degrees. This coming in from Erica on YouTube. You're going to battle some isolated rumbles of thunder the next few days. And then look at this cool down by Tuesday, 67 degrees. Now, this was the one hometown we got online. Terrance, this one is for you, though. I know you loved the warm temperatures you had this week, but you've got some cooler temperatures in the forecast and a few snowflakes for the higher elevations.
Huh?
So we're talking snow, not for Denver.
What?
But.
Okay.
And this is where I think karma might, be knocking on your doorstep, because DC, look at this forecast. David Brody's going to be in the 90s by early next week. Just going to plant some seeds there with your guys' forecast.
All right. Well, the other day I said that Denver was greater than D.C., so David can now say, well, not anymore, my friend. Not so fast, my friend. D.C. is now greater than Denver. Look at him. I think he's excited about this. Let's pop up David, guys, really quickly. I think David is happy. No, you're not. You're not happy that your guys' weather is nicer than ours.
Hey, good morning.
No, my hair doth protest. My hair doth protest. I hate humidity. I hate all that stuff. Oh my gosh, Tracy. I'm just going to sit here and do the rest of the show like this.
Well, Tracy, you pitted David and me against each other again, and in this case, I think I still win because his hair doesn't do well in humidity, and fortunately, my coiffure does well in all weathers.
Your hair always looks great, Terrance.
That's why I love you, Tracy. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
Thanks, you too. And don't forget to download the Weather Nation app, because we do have severe weather in the Central Plains all weekend.
All right. Thanks so much. All right. Let's get you back over to David. David, you're hearing humidity, and, my do, it's the same. Rain, snow, sleet, doesn't matter. Sun, my coiffure stays the same.
No, I hear you. I don't hear you, I guess, technically. But, yeah, I'm going to do the rest of the show like this. I'll do the rest of what if I did the next intro like this? President Trump departed Beijing. I feel so depressed. Oh, but I won't. I'll go into anchor mode. So here we go. This is my anchor schmaz. President Trump departed Beijing around 2:30 this morning Eastern time. So that was about 6 hours ago. He's in the air now on the way home, following his two-day summit with Chinese President Xi Jinping. The two leaders ended the meeting with agreements on trade, the war in Iran, and other issues. Here was the president outlining those accomplishments. Have a look.
I want to thank you very much. This has been an incredible visit. I think a lot of good has come of it. We've made some fantastic trade deals, great for both countries. He's a man I respect greatly. Become really a friend. We've known each other now 11 years, almost 12 years. That's a long time. And we've settled a lot of different problems that other people wouldn't have been able to settle. And the relationship is a very strong one. We've really done some wonderful things, I believe.
All right, joining us now with analysis is RAV DC correspondent Neil McCabe. Neil, good morning this morning. How do you view the trip?
Well, I thought it was a successful summit based on the goals, which was basically to demonstrate to the world that China and the United States are getting along, they can talk to each other, and that in panic. And we'll see how these agreements play out. Obviously, things were agreed to, and we'll see if it actually happens. But
engaged more in Iran, because shutting the Strait of Hormuz down affects them much more than it does a lot of other countries. It affects Europe, it affects India, but a lot of oil and gas comes out of Iran to China. And so I think them taking a paused approach is a good signal. I also think that China is more paper tiger than what we want to realize. Their one-child policy is causing a problem. Their population is going to decline rapidly over the next several decades because of that. They are obviously, they've got it's a communist government. They steal, our technology. So you look at their planes, they look a lot like ours. So it's a very unique relationship, but I do think it's one that we do need to have a path that we walk on together. It's probably one of the most important relationships that we have, but we also have to hold them accountable for their actions.
Congressman, we also want to get your take on President Trump's recent comments on the financial strain coming out of the conflict with Iran. President Trump spoke to reporters ahead of his departure for Beijing, saying he isn't considering Americans' financial situation. Let's take a look.
To what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all.
Congressman, what do you make of these comments?
Well, I think he actually does, considering in the broader scope of his policy decisions. I mean, you look at the big, beautiful bill. I mean, it was all about the American individual or the American family's financial situation. And I think what he's saying in that narrative right there is that while he's making decisions about a nuclear weapon, he's thinking about American family security more than just financial security. And so he is doing multiple things here at once. And as I've described multiple times that President Trump is doing a lot of cleanup on aisle 5 after the Biden administration, and it's a lot of different things to clean up, whether it's international policy, whether it's the spending here at home, the fraud, the waste and abuse that we're seeing in Minnesota and California. I know, President Trump's heart is definitely for the American people, and he is going to be concerned about that. But their overall security is at top of mind for him.
Absolutely. I mean, and oh, by the way, Americans can't have a financial situation if they're dead because of a nuclear weapon. So there's something to be considered there. Congressman, thanks for being here. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me this morning. You bet.
All right. Coming up, a California gubernatorial candidate may have just nuked. We're talking about nuclear weapons. May have nuked his election prospects thanks to a disastrous interview. We're going to show you what happened after the break. Don't go anywhere, everybody.
I chose Oak Street because they focus on older people. They're really good at following all my conditions, testing when I need it, and making sure I maintain my health.
At Oak Street Health, we specialize in healthcare for older adults with care that focuses on keeping you healthy, catching issues early to keep you healthy longer.
They take time to talk to you and find out about you. They actually found out that I had a 99% blockage in my main artery in my heart. I had no symptoms. I would not be sitting here without them digging deeper.
When I meet a new patient for the first time, there's not just about your medical health. I also want to know about them as a person, what's important to them, where they grew up, and how they like to spend their time. Having that deep connection is really important for the relationship.
At Oak Street Health, we accept Medicare and most Medicare Advantage plans. Call 855-967-2802 to schedule your visit. We go beyond what you'll find in most doctors' offices. Along with doctors and nurses, our care team also includes social workers and mental health support, just to name a few.
During my first visit at Oak Street Health, the doctor listened to everything I said, what I needed, what my concerns were. He grabbed his chair, sat right on the side of me, looked at me straight in the eyes, and we just spoke as if we've been knowing each other for years.
Sometimes there's two important questions you can ask yourself, and that is, are you just surviving or you're thriving? And so I feel that I'm thriving. And I had never had that before.
Ready for care that puts you first? At Oak Street Health, we specialize in healthcare for older adults like you, with care that focuses on keeping you healthy. Call 855-967-2802 to schedule your visit.
Welcome back, everyone. We appreciate you being here with us on this Monday. Oh, no, it is a Wednesday morning. Maybe it's Monday in my mind. It is a Wednesday morning. We're going to get you ready for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange here in just a few minutes. It's set to ring at the half-hour mark, so we'll take you there for that. Quick look at the futures. As you can see, the Dow is down. The rest of our board all in the green. Everything else is up at the moment. That likely is going to change pretty quickly once the bell rings. But again, we'll take you there live for all of that. In the meantime, let's get you over to David. David, good morning.
Good morning, T. Bates. All right, the Trump administration is launching a new federal website. It's called moms.gov, and it's designed to serve as a one-stop resource hub for expecting mothers and young families. Now, the site, announced over Mother's Day weekend, includes information on prenatal care, breastfeeding, mental health, nutrition, adoption, fertility treatments, and federal support programs. The White House says the goal is to help lower costs for families and support what it calls healthy pregnancies and stronger American families. The rollout also drawing political attention, with supporters praising the initiative as a pro-family expansion of government resources. Critics, of course, argue the site leans too heavily towards pro-life pregnancy centers, yada, yada, yada. Joining us now with analysis is board-certified physician Dr. Jared Ross. Dr. Ross, good morning. This is an important program. Seems like it's got a lot for moms and really just folks out there in general.
Good morning, David. Thanks so much for having me. Wonderful website, and couldn't be better timing to release it than on Mother's Day.
Yeah, tell me a little bit more about why these type of, whether it be prenatal care or some of the other situations that they're actually talking about, why these are important and why this information has to get out from a federal perspective, because the government, has a role. They believe the Trump administration has a role in keeping families healthy and safe.
Absolutely. We have a crisis of declining birth rates, well below replacement rates to replace our current population. And that's seen most in the most educated and most affluent. Often these are women and families that have delayed having children to pursue education and to pursue careers. And these are exactly the people that are in the right spot to raise and educate a child and raise our next generation. And whether it be fertility issues and those fertility treatments being out of reach financially for them, or childcare issues, this website really serves as a one-stop shop for, not just moms and future moms, but for dads as well. A great website name could have been families.gov as well. It really serves to promote families and to promote having children and really try to reverse this declining birth rate that we're having here in the U.S.
How much of that is such a problem, this declining birth rate? We've talked about this before. We've seen the statistics. They're not good.
They're not. Our highest birth rates are among our lowest income, lowest educated, and those are the people that are not in the position to raise children. And it's unfortunate. I mean, they have a right to have children, but we need to work on equalizing that birth rate across the whole population and let some of our best and brightest.
And this morning, we are taking a hard look at how open border policies could be opening the door to radical ideologies here at home. Now, earlier this week, the House Judiciary Committee on the Constitution and Limited Government held a hearing focused on the growing concerns over radical Sharia influence in America and whether it could threaten core constitutional freedoms. One of those witnesses was Eamon Blair of the Texas Public Policy Foundation, who warned lawmakers that weak border security and illegal immigration networks may be creating opportunities for extremist ideologies to spread. Here's part of his testimony.
While all eyes are on conflict with Iran overseas, that conflict is not confined to distant battlefields. It is playing out right here on our shores. Iran has waged decades-long hybrid operations in Western Hemisphere and U.S. interior, leveraging proxies including Hezbollah, Hamas, and Muslim Brotherhood-linked networks alongside cartel smuggling infrastructure. These threat networks increasingly utilize gray zone tactics operating under the threshold of armed conflict inside the United States through cyber-enabled influence operations, propaganda ecosystems, and online radicalization platforms to accelerate recruitment, coordination, and institutional influence. These networks exploit migration corridors and distribute institutional ecosystems inside the United States. They operate through nonprofits, charities, educational institutions, advocacy groups, media ecosystems, and political conditions to pursue influence, concealment, and institutional entrenchment.
Well, we want to know what you think. Let us know on Rumble or Getter. Hop on and let your voice be heard. Coming up, new questions tonight about the FBI's Arctic frost investigation. A new report claims evidence connected to the Trump probe was ordered preserved through 2030, even after the original cases were dismissed. We'll break it down. That's coming up next.
Hey there.
Yes, I do. Yep, I see it. So we're going to the bell block here.
I don't hear anybody in my ear. Should I? No? Well, I hear you. Yes, sorry, MD. Yes, I hear you.
Test, test, test. You guys hear me?
Donna, I hear you.
You. Hey, good, because that was touch and go for a while there.
Yeah, it's been touch and go. I don't know what's going on.
We have a huge update on our end, too, for some reason, so I guess it's all both sides.
Welcome back, everyone. Terrance Bates here. I'm trying to make out what this is. I think it might be a bird or something. Weird shot. Anyway, we're getting ready for the opening bell of the New York Stock Exchange. It's set to ring here in just a few minutes. Here's a quick look at the market futures. As you can see, pretty much red, almost top to bottom. The only thing that's in the green is crude oil, which isn't necessarily a good sign for those of us buying gas, but we'll take you to the New York for the opening bell here shortly. First, let's get you over to David. David, good morning.
Good morning, T. Bates. All right, new questions are emerging about the FBI's Arctic frost investigation after a report claimed agents and prosecutors tied to former special counsel Jack Smith actually took steps to preserve the evidence against President Trump until after he leaves office. According to documents obtained by Just the News, FBI agents and DOJ officials created preservation orders keeping materials related to the 2020 election investigation in FBI custody through 2030, even after the original cases against Trump were dismissed following, of course, his 2024 election victory. All right, join us now with reaction, the co-host of Cowboy Logic here on RAV. That would be our wonderful, great friend, Donna Fiducia. Donna, good morning. I tell you what, the deep state never sleeps.
They never stop, do they, David? It's unbelievable. Signed by the usual cast of characters. AG Merrick Garland, then Deputy AG Lisa Monaco, then FBI Director Chris Wray. And you know what? The thing is, Arctic frost, I'm glad that it's finally being brought out by all of these lawmakers who are under investigation illegally. But you know what? It took the lawmakers being under investigation, not us, peons here like the Jan Sixers and everybody else. Let me call your attention to Chris Cooney. I mean, because the lawmakers are saying our house was raided and it was, stressful and all this other stuff. They weren't raided like the J Sixers were. Captain, U.S. Marine, 22 years, Chris Cooney, Purple Heart recipient, J Sixer. Well, he was in the Capitol, but he didn't do anything that was violent at all, and he has been pardoned. His house was raided, his then 4-year-old son terrorized, and his pregnant wife miscarried on the next day. So tell me about how everybody, has equal justice under the law. So what they did here, and this is so evil, they wanted all of these documents to be preserved until 2030 so that Trump could be, he can't be apparently tried while he's president. So they said, well, as soon as he's out of the presidency, we're going to go right back after him again. And they went to Judge Tanya Chutkan. Oh, my gosh, no friend of J Sixers either. So it can be refiled because she ordered it done apparently without prejudice. So now with these documents that Kash Patel did find, well, this is a good thing because it actually proves that there's still this huge amount of, I want to say Fedsurrectionists in the FBI. Comey is all over the mainstream media right now, David. Have you noticed that? Saying that he feels the FBI is under siege, and he still talks to many employees in the FBI. So I mean, they are still deeply entrenched in there. And if Kash Patel and John Solomon didn't uncover all this stuff, they would have gone right back into going after Donald Trump. And they still say they're going to. The question is, will the DOJ now go back to Judge Tanya Chutkan and have her get rid of this with prejudice, throw it out? We'll see what happens with that. But I'm glad these politicians are bringing this to light, at least, because at this point in the game, this is totally ridiculous. The same players, Jack Smith, their belief was that Trump broke the law by repeatedly saying it was the most secure election ever. And they got all the people like CISA in there saying it was the most secure election ever, so nobody could look into it. Well, you know what? I call bulldunk on all of that. This needs to be looked at. We have never had a real forensic audit of anything except in Maricopa County, and they avoid that like the plague. So this is the whole thing. We'll see if this former DOJ prosecutor, by the way, J.P. Cooney, is now a Democrat candidate for Congress in Virginia. He's all part of this as well. Let's see. They want these files preserved for another 5 years because they want to go after Trump after he's out. This needs to go back to Tanya Chutkan. It gets thrown out with prejudice. That needs to happen. If we have
Donna, we got 15 seconds. We got to run, but tell us what's coming up on the barn party. So sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, no problem. We got Dr. Henry Ely, Energetic Health Institute, and super lawyer, Trump's lifelong friend, Peter Tickton. We will see you in the barn party this weekend. Drummers ready. Love you guys. Have a good weekend, too.
Oh, that's fantastic. You did that in 13 seconds, by the way. And real quick, is bull dunk, is that hyphenated or not? I'll have to check at the break.
I think it's hyphenated. I have it hyphenated.
Okay, sounds good. We'll go with that. Donna, great to see you. Thank you. I appreciate it. T. Bates time. Ain't no bull dunk with T. Bates. Sponsored by AMAC.
The Association of Mature American Citizens is the conservative voice for Americans 50 and older. AMAC is fighting for the values that you hold dear. Join today. Together, we can write the course of America.
We're less than a minute away from the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. Momentarily, you'll hear the applause, and then that means that we'll be counting down to the opening bell. There you have it. The applause is underway. Horizon is at the podium. The bell is going to ring here in short order, and then we'll get an idea of how the markets are looking on this final day of trading of this week. You saw the futures not looking so good. Hopefully, there will be a bit of a change. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. The opening bell ringing there at the New York Stock Exchange. The markets are open, and just like that, as you can see, the major indices, the Dow, S&P 500, and the NASDAQ, all in the red right now. Only really two things that are in the green on our screen. It looks like VIX is up and crude oil, of course, also up. It's been that case, or that's pretty much been the case for the past couple of months following the war there in Iran. We'll continue to monitor all of this for you, though, throughout the day and keep you updated. Well, when there are supply constraints on commodities, prices tend to surge. You saw that happen with oil prices when the Strait of Hormuz was blockaded. And you know what else is a limited commodity? Well, that would be gold. They mine it out of the ground, and when it's gone, it's gone. Governments can't just print more of it, and that's why everyone from central banks to savvy savers are diversifying with gold. If you've been thinking about it for years, but have still never moved some of your savings into physical gold, the Birch Gold Group is who you may want to trust to help you do that. Now through May 29th, the Birch Gold Group is giving first-time gold buyers a rebate of up to $10,000 on qualifying purchases. For details and a free information kit on diversifying into gold, text the word America to the number 989898. The Birch Gold Group can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold. Simply text the word America to the number 989898 to see if you qualify for a first-time gold buyer rebate of up to $10,000. Again, text America to the number 989898 today. Still to come here on American Sunrise, water systems are failing in households across the country, posing significant health and financial risks for Americans. Our very own Dr. Gina had a chance to talk to Skip Bedell about how many are overcoming that issue with the revolutionary system. You definitely don't want to miss her interview.
This Memorial Day weekend, it's more than an event. It's a celebration of the United States of America and the people who love her. Join Real America's Voice and Real America's Music for Celebrate Freedom, a one-of-a-kind live broadcast and concert experience at the iconic Marty B's in Dallas, Texas. From 4 to 9 p.m., patriots from across the country will come together for an unforgettable night, honoring faith, freedom, and the spirit that makes this nation strong. The entire event is live, kicking off with a powerful hour of worship, followed by a national broadcast hosted by Bo Davidson, featuring voices you trust like Ben Berkwam, and building into a full concert experience. With performances from artists Wynn Williams, Inside Out, and Ram artists Deep Hawk, Natasha Owens, Celeste Kellogg. Tickets are free, but you must register, and they will go fast. Scan the QR code now to lock in your spot before they're gone. Celebrate Freedom, presented by Patriot Mobile and Preborn. Let's celebrate America together.
All right, welcome back to American Sunrise. Across America, many households facing a quiet crisis they might not even be aware of. Water systems that are aging, contaminated, hard water systems, chemicals, all the rest of it simply failing us. Even your own shower may be aging your skin or putting contaminants in your body. Research shows that hard, unfiltered water can worsen chronic skin conditions like eczema, psoriasis. Here to weigh in on this very concerning issue is home improvement expert Skip Biddell. We have watched him for years helping families on the hit TV show Catch a Contractor. He's also appeared on some of the nation's biggest news shows as an expert contributor on how Americans can improve their homes, keep themselves healthy, keep their families healthy, keep their water safe. It's foundational. It's fundamental. And people don't even realize, people think, here's the misnomer. People think that if you are drinking bottled water, you're keeping things safe, but you're not, because even bottled water has PFAS, the plastics in these forever chemicals in your bottled water. Plus, we know now, Skip, I'm putting nicotine patches on my arm because that prevents dementia or Alzheimer's, and I'm putting all sorts of lotions that have things that tell us what we're missing and why this system is so really important.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Dr. Gina. You are absolutely right, because the skin is the largest organ on the human body, as you know, and it absorbs everything like a sponge. So when we hear about all these contaminants in the water, the lead, the mercury, the arsenic, and now these crazy PFAS, PFAs, or the forever chemicals, they're showing up in every state across the nation, coast to coast. Now they're even showing up in America's blood results. So these are confirmed to cause cancer, very dangerous. And you're right, most people are under the impression that if I only drink bottled water or I filter the water in my home like I have at one of my refrigerator or under the sink, that I'm good. But what they're missing, and the false sense of security here, is that they don't understand that we take in much more of those contaminants and chemicals through our skin than we ever could by drinking it. When you shower or bathe, a typical shower, let's say 10 minutes, your body can absorb up to 6 ounces of those contaminants, just like your nicotine patches. The reason why is because our skin is so, transmittive. It absorbs all of that. It goes directly into your bloodstream, as you know, bypasses the digestive tract, and they're highly concentrated when it's in that form, vaporized. Now we're also breathing in those vapors going into our lungs and directly into our bloodstream. So now that we're finding these PFAS and all these chemicals, test results are showing cancer levels and so many different illnesses are going through the roof over the last number of years.
1 in 3 people right now estimated to have cancer in this decade. We're doing something wrong, despite all the filters, despite all the things we're doing. So this one's different, though. Tell us.
It is, because what this is going to do is going to filter every drop of water to every faucet in your home, not just the water that you drink. So we're going to eliminate those problems where you're taking in the chemicals through your skin and through the inhalation when you're showering, bathing, even washing your hands, brushing your teeth. We use water for everything. We take it for granted, but it doesn't matter where you live or what you do or what you drive. Everybody has to use water all the time, right? So we're exposed to these chemicals and we're missing the boat. We're not protecting. So this filtration system, this is a great system. After doing so much research, being a home improvement contractor for 25 years, I've installed every kind of system you can imagine. And when I realized these things and I went down the rabbit hole and I started doing some investigation myself, I'm like, I got to do something to protect my family. And the whole house water filter is the best way to go because it covers all the bases. Basically, you install a system like this right where the water comes into your home, right by that shutoff valve. And it's just a simple 1 line in and 1 line out back to the house.
So no big plumbing bill here. This is just a matter of literally like 30, 40 minutes for a plumber to install this.
Yes. It's
amazing.
It's the easiest install ever. And it's going to force all the water that comes into your house to go through this filter first and then back out to every faucet. And now you're actually getting filtered alkaline drinking water. Alkaline water, is like the best water you can drink. People are paying like $8, $9 a bottle to get alkaline water.
That's right.
You're literally getting filtered alkaline water, better than bottled quality water, to every faucet, even when you shower, eliminating all those harsh chemicals, the things that cause your skin to be dry and itchy, your hair to break and be brittle.
It makes such a difference, Skip. Just putting a hard water filter on my shower, which was the first thing I did like 10 years ago. That made a huge difference. So, but what people don't realize is all of the things that are in our water. It's not just about the hard water. It's not just about the chemicals. Now we have PFAs. We have minerals in our water that cause degradation of our systems.
Yes. Yep.
This takes care of literally all of it.
Yeah, it does. So the mineral system, for years, people have been using water softeners, right? And they're usually pretty large, cumbersome units. They're kind of antiquated now. You have to do a lot of maintenance, keep adding salt to it all the time. It's why you see at Costco these 40-pound bags of salt people lugging around. Nobody wants to do that anymore.
No.
This is a new technology. This does the job of a softener. It takes out all those minerals that break down your plumbing pipes, but it also takes out all the harmful contaminants all in one thing. So it's a really great system to have in your home. I installed this in my house a couple of years ago, and you're right. It was like somebody flipped the switch.
Yes.
Overall,
hair's softer, skin is better. People say, what did you do? I'm like, nothing. I'm doing this. This is all I'm doing.
Yes, yes. The hair and the skin you notice right away. And the first thing, the very first shower you take, you don't smell the chlorine and the chemicals. You don't see it on the glass, and you don't taste it in the water. It's like just pure water. That's the first thing. But over time, I noticed that I was actually feeling better. Like I wasn't, we're taking in all this stuff, and people complain all the time that we see huge spike in like chronic fatigue, chronic, inflammation throughout the body, brain fog. Everybody's saying like the same thing. Now we're exposed to a lot in our environment. What they're spraying in the air, all all the processed ingredients in our food now, and you can't control everything. But this is something that you can be proactive with in your home. You can filter all that garbage out of your water in your home very easily. You know?
Okay, so let's talk turkey. I want to know, how often do I have to change a filter? What's the maintenance on this system?
That is a great question, because this is really the only system I was able to find is completely maintenance-free. As you can see, it's a sealed tank. So once you set this up, it's literally set it and forget it. And that's one of the things I loved about it.
Forever?
Yes, forever. There's a 10-year and there's a 20-year warranty. So even on the 10-year for a smaller system, you're getting 10 years guaranteed pure water. And that's like over 1 million gallons of water, more than you could ever use. So they also have a system that has a pump on it that backwashes it, kind of like a pool filtration system. There's a 20-year guarantee. So basically you set it and forget it. Once you set it up, there's no filters to change, and that's really what I loved about it. The easy install, zero maintenance.
Yeah.
You put it in,
that's almost unbelievable.
We have enough things to worry about,
that's
right?
almost hard for my brain.
I know, because we have enough things in life to worry about, especially now. Just turn on the news, it's like, right? We have enough things to worry about. We don't need to worry about poisoned water for our family. I want to check it off the list. This is it. Set it and forget it.
Love that. Love that. Okay, so talk to us about these forever chemicals, because this is a really big deal. And this isn't just a big deal in our drinking water. This is, as you mentioned, a big deal when it goes through our skin. Our dogs, I lost 2 dogs to cancer this year. It's a big deal to me that my dogs have filtered water. And if that sounds diva, okay, whatever.
No, you're right.
But that's why I need this system.
100% right. So I have 50 chickens. I got 4 dogs and 5 cats. I'm a big animal lover.
Oh, yours as much as me.
My wife and I, we only give the dogs, water that comes out of our house system, right? Yeah. So we know
you
that
can take it with you when you go on vacation.
Yeah, you can bottle it. So what's great about this too is that right under any faucet in your house, just get your little stainless steel bottle or glass bottle you take for the day. You got the best water that you're going to get. But these forever chemicals, you're right, they're in everything, and the reason being is that they're used in the manufacturing process of everything that we have. Yeah. Everything from our clothes, furniture, textiles, technology, everything that we're surrounded by requires chemicals in the manufacturing process. And as things grow, as technology goes up, solar panels and batteries for cars and everything, more and more chemicals are needed. And these chemicals now we've seen really at high levels getting into our groundwater and getting into our homes. The municipalities just can't filter it all out. They just can't. And you can see article after article, story after story, how they're trying to combat these forever chemicals in every state, every municipality. So it's a real problem. And people ask me all the time, what can I do? I have a filter on my faucet, one in the refrigerator, and I try to remind everybody. And I too thought the same thing. I was always a guy to filter my water, refrigerator, any way I could, very conscious of it. But once I started doing the research and I thought about the skin, and I'm like this light bulb went off. I had this aha moment. Because when you take a shower, you think it's like the cleanest, healthiest thing you can do. Yeah. You're not realizing that you're taking in all of these chemicals.
Tell us about the system. What's in it?
Yeah, so there's multi levels of filtration that the water goes down through this and is forced to come back up through multiple stages of filtration. Also, it goes through a center tube here that ionizes the water and converts it into alkaline. So when it goes in, it strips out all the minerals that are harming your plumbing and causing hard water scale damage to your plumbing. But at the same time, through those multiple levels of filtration, it's also taking out, each level takes out different types of chemicals. And by the time it gets to the top, it comes out alkaline drinking water that's just pure.
This is really pennies a day.
It is.
This is, all that money we've been spending on the bottled water, which now we've all moved to the boxed water and the glass bottled water, which is even more expensive. Right. Sometimes $5, $6. I've seen my kids spend like $12 for a bottle of water. What in the heck? But this is literally pennies a day over the course of 10 years.
It is. When I look at what I spent on bottled water over the years, it's like ridiculous. And it's the reason why the bottled water industry has become nearly $100 billion a year for plastic bottles that aren't even healthy.
They're putting them out of business, Skip.
They're in big trouble right now. You know what's funny about the plastic bottle? What people don't realize, when that water goes into the bottle and it goes to a warehouse and then it goes to the supermarket, all in hot trucks, right? And then you take it in your hot trunk and you put it in your hot garage, and by the time you break a bottle out and put it in the refrigerator, that water plastic bottle might have been heated up a dozen times, right? We all know what happens when you heat plastic. Yeah. No one thinks of this.
It expands and contracts.
But just the chemicals leach out of into the water. So the plastic bottled water is definitely not a way to go. If you're going to have to drink bottled water, do it out of a glass bottle, you know.
But you can get your own glass bottle.
You can,
put your own filter.
This is by far the most cost-effective way. For pennies a day, you can literally have the best quality water from every faucet in your home.
Now, alkaline is really important as well. We've talked a lot about that, how acidic our water has become over the years. I don't know what's caused it, but I know this fixes it.
Yes, the chemicals in our water and a combination of a lot of different elements cause the water to be acidic. And as you know, when you have acidic levels in your body, it's also promoting cancer and a lot of other problems.
Inflammation is the big thing that causes cancer.
We want to get our body to alkaline. We want to get our blood to alkaline, our body to alkaline. So drinking and also bathing in alkaline water is a really very helpful thing to do. You know,
it's so good for the skin. Keeps you young, David Brody, on your birthday. So tell us what I'm not asking you. What did I not ask that you want us to know?
Well, as far as the installation, and it's one of the reasons why I really, again, being a contractor, I've installed like so many different systems, like hundreds of different types and brands. And when I looked at my own home, I'm like, what's going to be the easiest install? Also the size. If you look at the footprint of this is like literally like 9-10 inches.
Oh my gosh, I can't even believe.
Yeah, so you can literally put this in the smallest little space in the closet. Most people have their water systems either in the basement or in the garage. It takes up a lot of space. Like the softeners are big, cumbersome units. The footprint of this is so small, you don't need anything else. It's an all-in-one thing. So it's a really great system from that regard. The installation and also, of course, the no maintenance. You know, that's really my thing.
Skip 26, that's a QR code. What does that save us?
Oh my gosh, this is a great time to get one because this company, which by the way, I didn't mention this, really the thing that put me over the top of this is an all-American company. They're all 100% manufactured and sold right here in America. Their home offices are in Nevada.
So important.
So
Made
important.
in America.
And I'll tell you why. You try to get someone on the phone from any of these other water filtration companies, it's farmed out across the world. No one speaks English.
Right.
These guys, when you get on the phone with them, you're speaking to a water specialist. They're in your country. They're speaking English. They're going to tell you exactly your zip code, what the problem is in your water.
Love that.
They know water, and they make it really easy to get this, you know. So.
All right. The code is Skip26.
Yeah.
You're going to save some big bucks on that.
$1,000 off right now.
$1,000 off right now. Skip Patel, this is really exciting. I want one for my house, definitely. And
give me your address. I'll see if I can ship one over.
I can't believe that one little system with this small of a footprint for this little money can save lives. Can save lives.
It really can.
Really
in the long term, it can save lives.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Thank you so much. Skip26, that's the code. Saves you $1,000 just today. So make sure you order right now. And we'll be back with more American Sunrise right after this. Thanks, Skip.
Thanks so much.
Hey, Ryan, am I on or no? All right. All right.
Hi, yes.
Let's spill some tea. Let's Spill Some Tea is sponsored by Artillery Tea Company. Right now, they've put together a special Patriot Starter Kit just for RAV listeners. Only $29.95 with free shipping. You'll get 5 premium sample packs of their top 5 flavors. Morning Moab, their #1 bestseller. Gadsden Green, Gunpowder Green, Howitzer Heavy, and Rack Out Remedy. That's over 30 servings, so you can try some of their best teas and find your new favorites. Every kit helps support veterans and first responders. It's completely risk-free, so if you don't love at least 3 of the flavors, you get a full refund and keep the samples. To grab yours, head to artillerytco.com/patriot. This special offer is limited, so don't wait. It is time now to spill some tea, and in the cup today, a high-profile arrest in California. California businessman, major Democratic donor, and former gubernatorial candidate Stephen Klubeck has been arrested in West Hollywood on felony allegations of witness tampering, in a case now drawing attention because of his political ties, including his past association with California Congressman Eric Swalwell. Authorities say Klubeck is accused of trying to influence witnesses connected to the criminal case against his fiancée, model and social media influencer Adva Lavi, also known as Mia Ventura. Klubeck, the founder of Diamond Resorts, has been active in Democratic politics for years and has appeared publicly with high-profile figures, including disgraced former Congressman Eric Swalwell. We want to know what you, our viewers, think about this. Let us know on Rumble or Getter. Hop on and let your voice be heard. Still to come on American Sunrise, Terrance Bates is standing by with the top story he's keeping his eye on today. The one to watch is after the break. Don't miss it. Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. Welcome back to American Sunrise, everyone. I'm Allison Hans. Thanks so much for being with us this morning. It's time now for the one to watch. Okay, Terrance, what are you keeping your eye on today?
All right, well, one of the stories I'm watching is newly confirmed Federal Reserve Chairman Kevin Warsh, who is set to preside over his first meeting in that new role over this weekend. Warsh, who previously worked as a Wall Street executive and Federal Reserve governor, is stepping in at a time of rising inflation, high energy prices, and growing economic uncertainty. He was confirmed by the Senate in a 54-45 vote, with analysts calling it one of the most politicized Fed confirmations in modern history. The politicization, that's one of the things I'm watching. Warsh, of course, replaces Jerome Powell, who routinely clashed with President Trump over interest rates. And I'm really interested to see how Warsh is going to be received at his first meeting tomorrow. More importantly, though, I'm curious to see if he's going to allow himself to be influenced by politics or if he's going to follow really solid business and economic policy as he moves forward in this position. I think it's going to be interesting to see how he gets his sea legs solid, Allison, as we move into this new realm, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I watched some of his testimony during, I guess it was like a confirmation hearing, and this is a solid guy who I believe went to Stanford and then Harvard, and I think he was originally appointed by Bush. This is someone who was actually in the room during the 2008 crisis. So this isn't new territory to him. What really I'm looking towards with him is that this is a guy who actually has said some good things about Bitcoin. I think he actually owns some Bitcoin. And so when it comes to cryptos, Bitcoin, and precious metals, I know that those things are things that I'm watching. A lot of younger people are watching. I think people in our audience. And that is totally new with the Fed. So I don't know. That's what I'm watching. David.
Well, you know, Terrance, you said, will he be influenced by politics? And I think the truth of the matter is every single person in D.C. and otherwise is influenced by politics. They'll never say that, of course. They'll say they're principled and blah, yada, yada, yada. But of course they're influenced by politics. Some 100%, some 5%, but somehow, some way they are influenced. But you say influenced by politics. I'll drill down even further. Will he be influenced by Trump? That's the real question.
All right, I was trying to be diplomatic, but yes, that's I think what I was getting at. Go ahead.
And if Trump were here, he would say, of course he should be influenced by me. I'm president of the United States. And people would shake their head at that and say, that's not the way this works. And Trump go, I don't care. I glided down the escalator and I shake up every single, paradigm that's out there. So to me, what's interesting to watch here, like you said, T. Bates, is you call it the politics of it. Yeah. And I think that's an umbrella term for, how are Trump and Kevin Warsh going to get along? And